that. And let me start by introducing myself. So my name is Kumiko. I am the Director of Education at Hackergal. I come from a background in teaching in the primary years, both in Ontario, where I was trained, and abroad in different countries in Asia. And I've been with Hackergal for 3 years, and my role is primarily to oversee all of the programming that we do, namely our Hackathon program and our ambassador program, and work very closely with Christelle, who will introduce herself. She is a fierce advocate for all the French communities out there and making sure that we can support them as well. So I'll pass the mic to you briefly, Christelle, to introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Kumiko, for the amazing presentation. So I am the bilingual program manager at Hackergal. And as Kumiko said, we offer our programming in both English and French. And I have a background in NGOs working in the education sector, helping young kids and students, and especially girls, having access to a better education. So yeah, I have actually in developing countries mostly, and yeah, happy to see you here today. If anyone is interested in the French programming, you can message me anytime and I'll be happy to assist you with that. Over to you, Kumiko.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Christelle. And I notice my slides are not on full screen, but that's okay. So who is Hackergal? I see some familiar faces in this room, and at VBIT, we've come every year since we've started. So we love this community. We love supporting the teachers in Ontario. And yeah, we are a Canadian charitable organization. Really proud to be Canadian. We focus on introducing girls, trans girls, and non-binary students to coding in a safe and supportive environment. And we work directly with educators like yourselves to increase their confidence, their interest, and their understanding of computer science. So we provide all those tools so that you feel prepared and ready to go. And I know there might be folks in here that have extensive computer science experience or some that are new, and we work with all of the above. Christelle's put the link to the slides in the chat, and we'll also add them to the Wova chat as well. And you can see the bit.ly link in the bottom there. So everything is accessible that I'm sharing today. So feel free to follow along and or reference any of the links after. And this is a slide that we like to show you just to give you that motivation of why. And maybe in your own schools or organizations, you know already the why. Often the teachers we work with have computer science classes where girls are extremely underrepresented. And that's indicative of the nationwide statistics where women only represent 23% of STEM workers. And that's a number that's only increased by 2% in 30 years. So that's our motivational factor, and that's what Hackergal is out there to address, one girl at a time. We work across Canada, so we're really proud to partner with schools and organizations from coast to coast, from small rural communities in Newfoundland all the way to more big city schools in Vancouver and schools in the territories. We're so proud to support hundreds of schools across Canada and thousands of girls. So how does it work? I'm going to take you through this journey bit by bit, because I know we're always wondering, what do we have to offer and how can I make it work in my own practice? So there's 4 stages or pillars that I'm going to go through step by step. The first is onboarding with Hackergal and Hackergal Day. That's kind of the phase that we're in now, if you think of us being all there together and this kind of being your onboarding. The next is going into coding lessons via the Hackergal Hub. Then the biggest celebration is our national hackathon. And I know some of you have already hosted this hackathon on an annual basis. And so those of you that are here, like Christina, would know about continued learning, where you continue to participate in the hackathon, you look for mentors, and you continue down that journey. So I'll jump into each of those in more detail, but as a little bit of like a scope of what you can expect to find out through this 30-minute demo. So starting with onboarding with Hackergal, I'm going to talk a little bit about the online tool we provide and our Hackergal Day. So Hackergal Hub is something new that we built during we started way before the pandemic, but as many of us know, the pandemic has molded and shaped and fast forwarded and slowed down in various ways. So one thing that was fast forwarded was our Hackergal Hub, and that's our online learning portal. And this was initially going to be launched at the beginning of 2020. And then we went back and reworked everything as the pandemic unfolded so that it could be more self-paced and student-centered. So that's how it is designed, and that's kind of the way to think of it. It's where our lessons are, how the learning happens, but it's written for girls, and it's written as if they are the ones driving their own coding journey. And us as educators are there supporting them, facilitating, creating that community, learning it probably at the same time as them, which I always am, and being there like a coach and facilitator. So there's two dashboards to the Hackergal Hub. It has a learner and a facilitator dashboard. Of course, the facilitator dashboard has more bells and whistles and capabilities to run the show. And the learner dashboard is really focused on giving them access to videos, lessons, and that content that will make them excited about what they're learning. Excited about coding, most importantly. So I'm just going to do a quick jump into the hub so you can get a sense of what it looks like. So what you can see on my screen right now is the login screen. There's also the sign up process, which we invite you to do after this call if you're interested and you're keen to partner with us. We will be your cheerleaders and help you along the way. So there's a sign up form for facilitators where you create your own organization and you'll have your own organizational code, whether you're a school, a library, a nonprofit, another charity like us. We partner with all sorts of organizations. And then that would set up your school or your account where you have your own code. And that's how you invite your learners to become part of your community and to access all of the resources. So learners would sign up. It doesn't require any personal information other than a first name, a last initial, and their birth month and year. And that's purely so that we can retrieve their account if they forget their passwords. And then they require your school organization code, as well as parent and guardian permission. In terms of emails, that's up. Some schools love using the school email and the student's email. Others prefer to have it through the parent. It's never required to put in a student email. So keeping that in mind. So let's imagine we've signed up, we've created our organization, and now I'm going to jump in as a facilitator to give you a little bit of a lay of the land. And of course, I am, as always, talking quickly. I usually talk extremely quickly when I know I'm tighter for time, but consider this a fast forwarded version, and I would love to set up a call after to take you through this in a more slow-mo, and we can do everything together. So I just adjusted the language to English, but as Christelle kindly pointed out at the beginning, everything is offered in French as well. So keep that in mind. If you or yourself are a French teacher, we'd love to partner with you. We're trying to grow our French community. If you're not, but you know someone, please let them know. So this is me. I'm a teacher. I'm Miss Hackergal. I have my dashboard with the announcements. I can see how many learners are in my class. I can see how many hackathons I've done with Hackergal. I can see, as I mentioned, my organization code, and that's what I'll share with my students so that they can log in and I can see them as learners here, see what level they're on right now, see how they're progressing through their usernames. I can invite other facilitators to be part of my organization so that we can partner across a school or in some cases even across a board. Last year, we worked with Kawartha Pine Ridge and we did it across the board with 65 schools, and then the facilitators would log in so they could access all the same information in the learner accounts. Where you'll spend a lot of your time is in the resources in the learn. So at the highest level, the resources has all your teacher tools to run the program. These tools are made by teachers for teachers, and they're designed to really make coding exciting and give you that head start. The learn is what a lesson looks like. And I'm going to show you this in more detail from the student view because it's helpful. But know that as an educator and a facilitator, you can see everything that your students can see. So that is full transparency there. You have the ability to create announcements and send them to your students. So either customize one where you might be sharing, a meeting time or Google Meet link, or maybe you're sharing some encouragement or some student projects, recapping. I use it for recapping after a club all the time to send all the links. And I find that super helpful. So this is, again, a quick lay of the land. This is where you will start exploring. We have another hackathon coming up in 2022. And through this portal, you can sign up your schools. You're kind of that gatekeeper that would open the opportunity. And a lot more will come on hackathons. I'm going to explain all the ins and outs of that. But I think it's helpful to have a quick look of what you'll be receiving access to if you choose to sign up. And of course, it's all free or sponsored by the CanCode program with federal government funding and also various corporate sponsors as well. I am now a learner. I've transformed to this little ghost icon. And again, you can see the welcome announcement. You can see any other announcements that this student has been sent either by the facilitator or maybe by Hackergal with specific event information. They'll get a notification whenever there is an announcement. Again, if you've opened a hackathon, they can sign up for it, but only if you have. You might not want to do a hackathon every year. You are that gatekeeper. And of course, they have the learn section. So I will just mention that here that these are the 3 levels. The orientation level is called Launchpad, and this assumes no prior knowledge. This is step 1, where you're coming in, as I did when I first got my job as Hackergal, and as many of the thousands of girls that we work with come in with maybe some small experience with drag and drop or Scratch, and we're here to take them to that next level and really show them the endless possibilities with coding. So all of these lessons are locked or unlocked based on their progress. So this faux student account has completed all the lessons. So the learner has gone through, read along the lessons, watched the accompanying videos, which are slowly but surely loading. And the videos, we found that was also a big learning with coding in general, and especially self-paced learning, is we found that students learned best when they were watching demonstrations of short, snappy videos that show them how to code. So we've embedded video demonstrations from our curriculum team in every lesson, so the girls can follow along and code at the same time. That's a quick preview of what a lesson will look like. And then of course, they can always log out of their accounts. So the Hackergal Hub is there as a how they learn how to code through the tools, through the lessons, through the videos. Hackergal Day is part of this onboarding process if you're interested in being part of it. This is something also that we adapted. It's new as of 2020 was the first time we launched the Hackergal Day, and it's really about community building. So the Hackergal Day is a chance to come regardless of your experience with code. It's an all virtual event where girls and schools come together to participate in a series of different events or options. So there are webinars, there's Women in Tech panel discussions, there's a game night that I'm hosting with Jennifer, and we just launched that this week. So I'll just mention it's all on Eventbrite there. All the events are free. It's designed to be during, obviously, Computer Science Week, ideally kicked off with you at school, and then they're welcome to continue and participate after school in some of those other events as well. And it's just to get girls excited about coding, to expose them to role models, which is a big important piece of this, closing the gender gap, and to really show them that there's other girls like them that love to code, that love learning new things and problem solving. And it's a really magical time. So from there, you know, maybe you've come to Hackergal Day, you've got your account set up. This is how you work through the lessons. And I gave you a preview of what those lessons are. But I just talk about what they're actually coding, because that's kind of important to know. So we partner with a platform called Lynx Coding. Just like us, they are a proud Canadian organization. They use text-based coding. And what I absolutely love about Lynx Language is it's an educational computing language. So it's made to teach how to code. It's not a professional coding language like JavaScript or Python. This is that step before, like I mentioned, kind of after drag and drop, but before those heavy duty languages, where we put on those training wheels, but build all necessary computational thinking skills so that girls really understand what coding is. Lynx is available in English and French, of course, and several indigenous languages. And it's a really open-ended. So I'm going to walk you through some projects as well, but know that it's free across Canada for all students, for all schools. It is our Hackergal Hub provides lessons that show you how to do Lynx coding, but you can access that and use it school-wide. Most importantly, you could arm your girls with how to do it, and then they could teach all of the other students how to do it with that head start. And once they've built that community, that's what a lot of our schools are able to do. For those of you that don't know what text-based coding is, totally okay. I didn't either. So it's a style of programming where you're typing in each letter, each number, each punctuation, so that we make that magic happen and execute the different actions. So it involves really thinking about that set of rules, thinking about the characters, the numbers, the order. And you can see on that previous slide how the commands are typed in order, really that sequential coding, those nested events in there, making sure we tackle all that new Ontario curriculum together so that our girls really understand how to code and what coding is. So it's going beyond kind of dragging and dropping that set, but it's building that block code yourself. So it's super, super rewarding. So let me give you an example, because I could tell you all day about all the things that the girls code, but I know it'll speak volumes if you're able to see it. So I like to show this slide just in the sense, it's always a reminder, and it's humbling for me when I look at this little white screen and I remember how our girls started. They all start with this blank canvas. Super intimidating sometimes, but that's why we're here to help, because this blank canvas can become something, really anything magical with their creativity. And that's something really important to us as educators ourselves, is making sure that we are offering that open-ended opportunity for creativity, for student voice, so that they can build something that they care about. And that's what's really going to increase their resilience and their enthusiasm when it comes to coding. So let me show you Jeanette's first project. And we'll load it up here. So again, just as a quick, to really bring the point home, Jeanette started her project like this, on a little white work area with a little black turtle and a blank procedures pane and command center. So as you can see, this little white background and the little turtle has become something that is entirely her own. And it's a Meet the Developer project that, first of all, helps her see herself as a developer by calling it that, but it's like an About Me project. And all of these graphics and all of these buttons were custom coded by her. So if I click into About Me, we see that she's coded some animations. She's added her own Bitmoji, which could be its own hours of lessons, of course, even for me. She's added in interactivity where you click different objects, which were once turtles, and turn them into new graphics. She's added more about herself, coded a back button to take her to her home page. And you kind of see that pattern in the coding. So I know that's a big part of coding, of course, is understanding patterns, and we can see how she's building a pattern into the project that she's coded here. And so again, she has these graphics, the animations, and her back button there. And we're going to look under the hood and click edit. I might need to zoom out slightly just to see what some of that code looks like. What is actually making that run? And this is the super rewarding part for the students, is knowing that these lines of code were built by them. They didn't drag and drop them in, they wrote them themselves. They debugged them, they now can read them. And that's that super powerful, rewarding stuff that gets me out of bed in the morning. So some of these, let me walk you through, for example, one of the buttons. So for example, this first procedure here. So a procedure is teaching the computer how to do something. And that's what Jeanette did here. She taught the computer how to go to page 2 and how to run her animation. So she's talking to a turtle. That's the turtle's name, T13 or T12. And she's used, this green text is all commands that are in the Lynx language. And she's learned those and put them in. So they are hiding text and showing text. I'll just go to the animation. It's setting the position of something here. It's moving. All of that is, this exact thing is exactly what made that happen. I mentioned training wheels earlier. So if we hover over top of these commands, that is what's telling us what they do. Maybe Jeanette didn't memorize every command, but she knew how to use those supportive tools to bring her project to life. So if you hover over wait, we can see that this command causes a pause in the execution of the programming, and we can see an example of how to use it. I live and die by these reminders. I also always use this autocomplete. Again, how the Lynx language is showing you what words are in, what commands are in that language and what they might be able to do. So if I type in set color, I can hover over top and I can see what is possible with this command and how to use it with an input. So again, I can copy that to experiment and then take ownership over it once I've had my time to play with that command. There is this handy dandy help button. I'll just mention before I move along, because it is, again, another one of my lifelines, you know, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, ask a friend. You can type in here, how do I delete something? And it will give you a bunch of options based on what you maybe specifically want to delete. And sometimes we'll show you a little video. Yes, a little video of how to do exactly what you might want to happen. And if those of you that know Peter Skillen, he will sometimes appear in those videos. So that is some of those handy tools that show, or sorry, what should I say, that make coding more accessible. And I'm going to jump out of Jeanette's project. Again, a reminder of where she started and where she got to. And everything that she coded in this first project is part of that Launchpad level. So those 6 lessons that are in our first orientation level should allow girls to be able to code a project like that. And then, so, you know, we've gone to Hackergal Day, we've done our coding lessons together. Now we are at Hackergal's National Hackathon. And this is where the magic really, really happens. It's a live virtual celebration across Canada. Every year there's a surprise mission that connects to a social impact. And that's where students are making their projects about something that they care about. So think of this as applying with understanding. We've learned how to code. Now we're applying those skills to something exciting, to a national event. We're all coding together at the same time. So that little school in rural Newfoundland is connecting with that big school in, Toronto, which is connecting with the schools in the West Coast in Alberta. And we're all coming together to participate in this mission and create and submit projects. So we have little satellite locations, but we're all part of a massive movement. A hackathon is something that is used in the industry, which is why we love exposing girls to that. Netflix, Facebook, they all use hackathons to collaboratively solve problems. And so just like coders, the girls begin their coding journey before the hackathon, and then it's their chance to apply those skills and, most importantly, celebrate their learning and their progress, a chance to shout that growth from the mountains. And I'm going to play a little hackathon video. I think I still have a little time that kind of captures the spirit of the hackathon as opposed to me just beaming about it all the time. So hopefully you can hear my sound.
The Hackergal Hackathon is a huge national event.
Bringing together girls across Canada to code with a purpose.
The hackathon is the best part of the year.
The best part of the year. It's a chance for girls like me to problem solve together and code about something that matters.
If I could describe a Hackergal Hackathon,
If I had to describe
The Hackergal Hackathon.
si je pouvais décrire le hackathon de Hackergal en un mot,
it would be spectacular.
It would be amazing.
it would be really encouraging. Je dirais amusant.
Hackergal's hackathon is inspiring.
Is creative.
Is an experience.
It would be inspirational.
Je dirais engageant.
Game-changing.
Innovative.
Excitant!
But it's more kind of like a learning thing.
First, we made avatars to look like us.
So I'm going to keep debugging this.
And set heading is the command that basically allows you to change the direction of your turtle.
I'm really excited to share.
The Hackergal Hackathon is a movement to close the gender gap in the tech sector. It's about truly celebrating the power and potential of Canadian girls and coming together to code for a better, more inclusive future.
There very much is a gender gap in tech.
I know Hackergals have been working really hard.
It's my pleasure to introduce to you.
It's not even just about the younger one.
Because you care about it, it's like that shows in your work.
Volunteer, raise your hand to do that.
If you believed how possible your future in STEM was, do not let anyone's expectations of you get in the way.
Hopefully you feel as pumped up as me. I'm ready to go dancing. So that video captures all the fun that happens on the hackathon day. You can see little snippets of the guest speakers we've had. We've had Olympians, we have real women working in tech from big companies like Netflix and CIBC that come to share their experience. Because as we all know, and I'm sure you've heard it before, you need to see it to be it. So it's so important that girls are exposed to that community. Whoops, I will not play it again, even though I'm so pumped about it. So that's the hackathon. And going into the last pillar, because I know time is running out, is that continued learning piece. So we're really not about that one and done. We're not here to just do a fancy event and wish you on your way. We're here to build that journey and continue that momentum. So we're really focused on offering opportunities for coding and the same tool to be integrated into your classroom, however you might see fit. So two ways that continued learning often happens. We have mentors. So let's say this year we work together and we gather a bunch of girls to start that club. Next year, those girls are running the show. I will step back, you will step back, we'll watch that student-centered learning and leadership really take life. The second way it really happens, as I mentioned, is bringing this tool. Coding is a tool. It's not an end in and of itself. It's a way to learn and to show what you're learning. And so we invite you to use coding in your classroom with whichever you might be doing. And I've captured just 6 of the hundreds of projects that we've seen that show how coding can be connected to your curriculum. So we have a teamwork project. You saw a little bit of Kalia presenting there in the video with Laurel. We have a project on Greta Thunberg that is connected to sustainability and the science curriculum. Same with Bhavani's here, cracking the environment code. Nicole's a grade 12 student that coded a project on consent through biking. So again, connecting to that health and the wellness curriculum. Dawn coded a project about her own experience with ADHD and strategies to help other people that might struggle to focus as she did. And I love this, gaming from about Amelia Earhart's adventure. And that was actually coded during a hackathon connected to the theme Leaders in Her Story. So again, the possibilities are truly endless with what they can create, and especially when they're choosing to code about something that they care about. The last ending photo collage here just shows, what things once were, of course, and we're hoping to get back to it, where we went into schools, the girls had certificates, they got t-shirts made, they again participated year to year. We sent guest speakers to schools across Canada to help kick off the event. Of course, so much is happening virtually now. As of now, both of these events will be virtual, but they can happen in person at your school. So if you think of the virtual component as the way to connect us all, that will always be virtual. And then the in-person component ideally is making a big celebration at your organization so that those girls feel rewarded for all the hard work that they have done. And that is a wrap at 12:17. Thank you so much for participating. I have time to stick around. If anyone, I can stop the recording now. I'll press stop. And yeah, if anyone